Hello everyone, my name is Morgan, and as of 3 days ago, I am a licensed RN. I wanted to walk you guys through the steps that I took in order to pass and how I felt right before the test and right after the test, and if that's normal is. So I just wanted to share another video because if anyone is like me, they want to watch multiple videos to feel a little bit more encouraged to do well on the test and to get rid of some of the butterflies. So I studied for 4 weeks using ATI forced by my school. And I don't really think that I paid attention very much with it, but it was 4 weeks post-graduation. And then for 10 days, I didn't do anything because I was exhausted from school. Now being 8 years of college, I was just so done and exhausted. And I had heard that the ATT, the authorization to test, may take a while. And so, I was a little bit lazy and I was just working. So the day that I got the ATT, I was like, oh wow, I have to kick it into gear. So for 4 or 5 days, I used Uworld and I started doing a bunch of questions. So I think the first 2 days, I may have done like 100 questions to 150 those 2 days. And then I did 60. And then the morning before the day of my test, I did 60 questions. I know you're not supposed to study at all, but I can't do that personally. It freaks me out to not do anything. So I did 60 questions. I got like a 66%, which online says is a good predictor. To me, 66 sounds very poor, but I guess not. So the rest of the day, I just went to work and I went to the beach to relax. And then I made sure to go to bed at about 9 o'clock because I had set up my time to be 8 o'clock in the morning. I woke up at 5 just to make sure that I could prepare myself, get a good breakfast, have my cup of tea, and make sure to use the restroom as much as I could beforehand because you have 2 hours where you have to stay in front of the computer. You cannot take a break at all during the test. And so I really wanted to make sure I didn't have to use the restroom during the first 2 hours of the test. And so I was supposed to get there at 7:30. I got there at 8 o'clock or at 7 o'clock because I really wanted to decompress and compose myself, really. I listened to instrumental music that I typically listen to when I study. I just listened to the whole album that I have. It's maybe like 7 songs. And I just like let it all sink in. Like, this is the music you listen to when you studied. Like, hopefully it brings back some memories of all the time studying at Starbucks and all of that. So that's what I did. I said a few prayers. I'm not super religious, but in time and need, I needed to do that to make myself feel more secure before I walked in the doors. My test was it had the passing as 60 rather than 75 because of the COVID-19. So during the test, so I just walked out of the NCLEX. It took me about 2 hours. I had like 110 questions before it turned off. I'm like emotional because my last 2 questions were multiple choice, not select all that apply, and I wasn't even 100% confident in the last 2 questions, what I answered, and so I feel like, oh great, like I blew it. So this is my feeling. I hope that I can update that I actually passed, but right now I definitely feel like I didn't. It was very stressful. I kept trying to take breaks and take a deep breath and like tell myself, you got this, you've worked so hard, and saying little prayers. It was hard. It was weird to me though that like after 2 hours, like it let me take a break. And so it says, like, do you want to take a break? Yes or no? And I'm like, yeah, I should probably, because my stomach has been growling this entire time. So I took a break, had an orange, had like the little protein bar thing, went back in, answered 3 questions, and then it turned off. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I thought that I had more chances. Like, I don't know. This is a horrible feeling, and I really don't like this. I had so many multiple choice questions, like at least 30, I would feel like, out of 110. At least 30, maybe 40. And it was like, I would answer 3 multiple choice, and then there'd be like 2 select all that applies. And then it was on and off, like for so long. There were so many, and I'm like, I don't know, could be this one, could be not, I don't know. So click, go. Those are my feelings. I'm sure that I'm not the only one that feels this way. So as you can see, I was very flustered, and I didn't really know how to act. I didn't know whether to cry or scream of joy that it's finally over, but maybe not, because I would have to retake it in 45 days. I just didn't know what to think. Honestly, I didn't even tell my parents I was taking the test, because I didn't want to have to tell them that I failed later on. Nobody really knew that I was taking it, so it was only me, myself, and I having this little pity party of, how do I act? What do I do? I don't know what to do. Well, can't sit here stressing about it, but I for sure thought I failed. I had no doubt that I answered those last 3 questions wrong, and it put me below the line, and I failed. So you are not alone. If you complete your tests and you feel that you've completely failed. I did do the ATT, or not the ATT, the Pearson Vue Trick. I did that 2 hours after, and I got the good pop-up, and I still didn't trust it because it's just, to me, it's not coming from Pearson, it's not coming from Breeze, it's not coming from the BRN. Like, how can I trust that I did pass? So the next 2 days, I kept checking. I kept putting in my credit card and seeing if I passed. And I kept getting the good pop-up. And then on Tuesday morning, that's when I found out that my license was posted on the DCA. So to me, the Pearson trick does work, and it also works on the weekend, because I was worried that it didn't work on the weekend, because I took it on a Saturday, so I was thinking that there's no way that it works on the weekend. No one's processed anything. No one's probably working for Pearson, so I don't even believe this. I don't know. I don't know if it works, but it does. So be confident in yourself when you take this test. You're going to do great, and if you have just finished the test, I hope for the best results. Do the trick, and if you don't pass, it's okay. It's just 45 days. I suggest studying Uworld, because that really helped me feel more confident in answering the select all that apply questions, because I had so many. If you have any questions, comment below. I don't really post any YouTube videos, but I know that a lot of people do that, so post below.